Hey everybody, I'm Sean.
And I'm Kieran.
Welcome to another episode of Angling Spiders. Hey everyone, welcome back.
This is the Bow River Q&A.
Today for the Q&A, we will be floating on the Bow River from Carbon Park to Fish Creek. It's a 4-hour float. The Bow River has its own regulations, open year-round. It is catch and release fishery only, and our target species is trout, particularly rainbow trout and brown trout. So let's see how that goes, and let's get on the water. You're about to do your first minor set of rapids. How you feeling? Great. I'm gonna be right behind you. Just go straight. It's not very deep. No. Oh, Kieran just got one. And I got one. We had a double header. I got one. Nice rainbow. Okay guys, just caught our first fish on the Bow River. Beautiful rainbow. Look at that. Look at that, bud.
Nice.
Rainbow trout on the bow. Beauty. Let's get this hook out and get this guy released. Well, for our first question, FluffyKill02 asks, what is your favorite fish? That's a difficult question for me, but I would have to say that my favorite fish is, at least that I've caught, is a Dorado, or a dolphin fish that I caught in the Gulf of Mexico. Crazy fighters, great experience, and really good to eat. What's your favorite fish?
My favorite fish to catch is probably a northern pike, because I haven't caught much else. But my favorite fish to eat is probably halibut, because it's pretty good.
All right, let's rock and roll. Woo! So question number 2 comes from Carl Yuzminski, who asked, what kind of lure are you using called Dollarama? And I made a comment in the comment section that Dollarama is actually not a kind of lure, it's a store. So it's like a dollar store here in Canada, where you can buy things for typically $1, $2, $3. We picked up a lot of lures at Dollarama, and in fact the spoons that we're using today to catch these trout are also from Dollarama. So proof that you can use cheap lures to catch fish. Both of us, Kieran and I, are both using exactly the same one, a blue variant with some silver, working quite well. We've had a lot of strikes, we've caught a couple fish, and we're going to keep trying them as we continue to float down the river. So Dollarama is a store, and if you've got a dollar store, I encourage you to look for fishing tackle, because it's a great place to pick up cheap stuff. There's a fish in here, I know it. Kieran just got one. Nice. Can you pull in the side there, bud? What do you got?
I got a rainbow trout.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Your first ever trout.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic. Cool, man. That's what we came for.
Uh-huh.
And let's get a close-up of this guy. All right, let's get him back in the water. So another comment we got came from Steve Ryan, who said that he hoped that we would share our pike taco recipe from our episode in Dalmead. We absolutely intend to share that recipe. We are hoping to catch some more pike before the end of the season. And when we do that, we will bring some home, talk a little bit about cleaning up those pike, and then make some pike tacos. So look for that in a future episode. Got one. Oh, it's a good scrapper. Nice rainbow. Oh, he's gone. So another question, Downhill asks, where does the name Angling Spiders come from? And that is a good question. We have a lot of spider-themed things in our family. Growing up, my nickname was Webby, and so it kind of stuck, and the spider thing kind of stuck. And as a result, we have a lot of spider imagery, and we also collect spiders, both ornamental, and also we have 6 live tarantulas at home. And it tends to go in other things as well. You know, I make mead for my own use, and I created labels called Drunken Spider Meadery, and so it's kind of all over the place. And so typically anything we do involves something related to spiders. So that's that. So Dan Klimek had a comment. Thanks, Dan. Love to see a video of how we transport our kayaks. So we will put a video of that in this one, showing you what we use. We actually use a Malone system for 2 kayaks. Pretty easy to use, and it's worked pretty well. And so that'll come next. That's all there is to it. Another question we had from Kevin Thays was whether or not we preferred anchoring or drifting. Obviously on a river as quickly moving as the bow, we are drifting, but and truthfully, we would not want to anchor here because it would likely tip our kayak given the swift current. But when we're in lakes that are not fast flowing, it really depends on the day and the lake. What we find is that when we're at a lake that is very calm and there's no wind, we prefer to anchor. That was the case at Eagle, where Oh, there's a fish right while I was talking. Right when I was answering your question, Kevin. Great timing. Beautiful rainbow. Nice fight. Woo! Nice fish. Woo! And he's gone. That was fantastic. Okay. So we, as I was saying, we normally prefer to anchor when there's no wind, particularly if the fish are biting. We found a good spot. But once the wind comes up in these kayaks, we find that we have to really not anchor anymore because they move quite a bit. Now, it does depend on how much the wind is blowing, but yeah, it all comes down to what the weather's like and the situation dictates. But wow, I'm still reeling a bit from catching a fish while I was answering the question. So that was fantastic and great timing. So we are about 3.5 hours into our float down the bow. Takes about 4 hours to get to our exit point. It's been great. We've caught 4 trout already and lost about twice that many. So it's been a pretty good day fishing, actually. In addition to that, we've been able to answer some questions, which is great, and we actually have time here for one more question. That question comes from Paul Revere, who wants to know, when do we get to see what happens when you guys flip your kayak? That is not going to happen. We don't intend to do that intentionally, and our hope is that we don't get in a situation where we end up flipping our kayaks. Of course, if it happens, we will get it on film. But one thing I will say is, if we get to 1,000 subscribers on our channel, which is a long ways away, we're currently sitting, I think, at about close to 140. We might tip one on purpose just to answer that question. So I guess the answer is, if you want to see us flip a kayak, get your friends to subscribe and get us closer to 1,000. Thanks for the question. Here's the pit crew. They don't want to be on camera, but they're gonna be. Hey, pit crew.